Hi everybody, how we all doing? I hope having a good week so far. So today is the 30th of September 2014. It's the 1st of October tomorrow already. So that's it, we're entering the month of Halloween, for those of you that really like that. So anyway, here we are, we're back with Gotham episode 2 titled Selina Kyle. And what an episode this was. This really, I mean, the show's already starting to take off now. It's very good. It really is good. I got the feeling that at times I was actually watching a live action, Batman the animated series in some sense, obviously without Batman himself, but just seeing all these characters of Selina and Oswald and obviously Fish Mooney, Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock, it really is amazing. The main story of this episode is that a bunch of homeless kids are getting kidnapped, being kidnapped, left, right, and centre in Gotham. And at first, no one's really batting an eyelid about it because, well, they're homeless children. Who's really going to miss some, bunch of homeless kids? But then, obviously, Selina is amongst these kids. But she manages, to escape the clutches of the kidnappers, and one of them gets chased after by one of the kidnappers and is thrown into a restaurant, and he's the one that gets questioned by the police. They're the ones thinking that he caused the problem. Bullock doesn't believe this kid. I mean, he's only must be about 16 years old, the kid. Bullock doesn't believe the kid. Gordon is trying to reason with Bullock, and then those two come at loggerheads with each other and nearly break out a fight in the middle of the police station. Selina Kyle is just, I mean, I love Cameron, who plays Selina. She is just amazing. She portrays the character so well that to see anyone portray a younger version of Catwoman, it's mind-boggling, basically. But her attitude, her mannerisms, the way that she talks to Gordon in particular at one point in the episode, just fantastic. And she does eventually reveal something to Gordon. We all remember from the beginning of the first episode anyway, and it's her get out of jail card in essence anyway. So yeah, there is something going on there. Bruce Wayne, David Mazouz, who plays young Bruce, oh good lord, I swear to God, for a young kid he's already behaving like the Batman we already know and love. He does something generous for these homeless kids, and it's like the first step. At the beginning of the episode, we see him trying to test his, how should I put it? His not his strength, but his not endurance either. I cannot think of the word, but it's on the tip of my tongue. It just slipped. But he's got his hand over a candle, and he's trying to see how long he can keep it on top of the flame before he gives up as such, holding out his strength as such. But yeah, and it doesn't hold out for that long, but it's like that coupled with what he did for the homeless kids, put those two together and that is essentially Batman. He's on his way. So that was really good to see. Fish Mooney, played by Jada Pinkett Smith, is just brutal. She has a conversation with Carmine Falcone, who comes to see her at her club. He basically tells her about how the death of the Waynes has started something big. Gotham is going to spiral down, and we will remember when he mentioned this briefly to Jim Gordon in last week's episode at the beginning, in the pilot, that the death of the Waynes is going to see the Gotham going downhill. Penguin, or Oswald Cobblepot rather, he said the same thing as well in last week's episode. And Carmine, when he comes to see Fish, he is obviously telling her that as far as he was concerned, the Falcones and the Waynes were like the two pillars of Gotham. And now that the Waynes are gone, Falcone is sort of hanging on to Gotham all on his lonesome. But he has a feeling that the likes of Maroni, Salvatore Maroni, wants to replace the Waynes as the secondary pillar. And let's be honest, Falcone doesn't really want that. But then he also tells Fish about how Oswald came to him and told him about Fish wanting to get rid of Falcone as well. So and then Fish had to sort of, you know, convince him that, no, she never meant that. As far as she's concerned, Falcone's like a father to her, and this, that, and the other. So, but he teaches her a lesson in loyalty. He teaches her a lesson, and that tips her over the edge. And I tweeted this last night. I said, that is one pissed off Fish. And it shows. When you see the way she gets angry, yeah, you don't want to mess with Fish Mooney. You do not want to get on the wrong side of her, that's all I'm saying. What else? I wasn't really happy that Edward Nigma was in this episode. I just felt there was no need for him to be in it. And also we got a guest appearance by Carol Kane, who plays Oswald Cobblepot's mother. She's been interviewed by Crispus Allen and Renee Montoya. As much as it was nice to see Oswald's mother, again, there was no need for her to be in the episode either, because I can understand why she was in the episode, because as far as everybody apart from Oswald and Jim are concerned, Oswald is dead. So Jim and Oswald are the only two people who know that he is still alive. Everybody else thinks he's dead. So that's probably why Crispus and Renee went to see his mother to, you know, tell her what had happened and learn a bit more about Oswald and everything like that. So yes, I can understand that, but again, there wasn't really need to have her in the episode, to be fair. And as I say, Nigma in particular, there was no need to have him in there. He was only there for about a minute or two perhaps, just to help Gordon and Bullock in their investigation about the missing kids. And speaking of the missing kids, at one point I actually thought that maybe there was a Killer Croc element in there. I honestly did think that something Killer Croc-esque was going to happen in this episode, but wasn't to be. Oswald Cobblepot. There is a guy who he is just insane. He is mental. He gets hitchhiked by a couple of frat boys, as I'd like to call them. He kills one of them because he said that he looks like he was walking like a penguin, and we know how much he loves being called that. But the second kid, he sent a video to this kid's mother, basically saying that, you know, I'm going to do this to your son, this, that, and the other, if you don't, you know, do this kind of thing. And she's on the phone to Oswald and thinks it's all a joke. Thinks that, you know, her son's playing a big prank, but no. And Oswald's trying to convince her that, look, madam, I've got your son here tied up and I'm going to kill him. I'm telling you right now, why wouldn't you believe me? You know, when he hangs up the phone, he tells the kid, oh, yeah, your mother doesn't seem to believe that, you know, what I'm saying is actually going to happen. So you are going to die. How the kid, whether the kid has died or not, we don't know. But yeah, I mean, overall though, the episode was brilliant. I loved in particular, as I say, I'm going back to Cameron Cordova, who plays Selina Kyle, and her conversation that she has with Gordon is just superb. The conversation, she owns Gordon at that point. You know, she literally owns him, and it's just absolutely hilarious. But yeah, she knows what she's doing. Selina knows what she's doing. Also, don't call her Selina. She likes to be called Kat. Yeah. So even if you do ask her name, she will just say, "What's it to you?" Or mistake. I'm a mistake kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, she covers her tracks pretty well. And the way that she moves is just brilliant. Her cat-like movement and everything, the stealth footsteps and everything, just brilliant. So, wow, awesome. But yeah, brilliant episode. I'm really looking forward to next week's episode already. So, it looks like we've got a shot of Professor Pig. I think Victor Zaz as well might be appearing. Oh no, he won't be appearing in that one, sorry. But there was, as I say, a shot of Professor Pig in particular. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Also, there were a couple of DC Comics Easter eggs in this episode in Selina Kyle. And if you missed them, well, I'm going to tell you them anyway. First one, and I sorry God, if you didn't get this, there's something wrong with you, because it was shown twice. It was a blue sort of globe with a trident, and the company name was Trident Continental Shipping, Intercontinental Shipping, sorry, which I believe is a hint to Aquaman. And the second one was a big neon green Q on a building, which we can only believe relates to Oliver Queen. aka Green Arrow. Obviously, we know that this is the early life of Bruce Wayne, so I would imagine Oliver Queen would be about the same age as Bruce as well. And it would be Robert Queen that we might see. Who knows? You know, we know this isn't going to be linked with the Flash and Arrow of Constantine as well. But it's good to see that Gotham isn't self-contained in like the Dark Knight trilogy that Nolan did, you know, in that no other heroes or characters outside of Batman's, you know, universe exist. This is now an expanded universe. There's hints of Green Arrow, there's hints of Aquaman, so we're getting something big, so which is good. So I'm looking forward to see how that all progresses as time goes on. And I'm sure we'll see more teasers like these ones as well. So yeah, brilliant. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Bye.